I think I'm live. Oh, no, I'm not. Now I'm live. Well, welcome, one and all, to Bike Racing Without Mercy on a post-Fred Whitton live stream. More of the Fred Whitton to come, and I'm dropping a video tomorrow. I had it ready for last night, but the download onto YouTube, well, it took 2 hours, and therefore I missed kind of the usual kind of window for launching the video. Also, massive thanks to Jesse Coyle and Nero Coaching and Nero Cycling, of course, for the wonderful video analysing and very good constructive criticism. Very much appreciated constructive criticism of my training. Jesse, you're the GOAT, and thank you ever so much for doing that. It was a very, very thoughtful video, and I found it extremely helpful and insightful. So cheers for that. Anyway, on the agenda today is a climbing race. If anybody is watching, hi Jane. I have one viewer, my partner Jane, and because it's been so long since I've last live streamed, I'm not surprised people are not tuning in. I'm also late because there haven't been very many good Zwift races, in all honesty, early on a Saturday or Sunday morning, but this one looks nice. It's the Queen stage of the Zwift Epic series, and there's a lot of climbing. Nick Brownbill, how are you? It's very nice to see you. How is the knee? And all the lab testing. Tell us a little bit about that. Nick Brownbill, a force of nature, and now starting to gear up for his summer hill climbing season. And so I'm guessing some of that is going to be put up on YouTube as once again Nick delves into the dark arts of going max effort uphill. It's going better. Still hurts. Manageable. Yeah, I'm hoping you stay on that kind of trend for recovery, Nick. It's so frustrating when we get these injuries. Top Cat, unfortunately, he just keeps getting ill at the moment. He just came back off Tenerife feeling very strong, and he's now ill again when there's some kind of a virus or illness for about the 5th time this year. Oh, you've got a 220-kilometre ride with your dad. Is that in northern Wales, taking in your favoured routes, or is it more in the Wirral, Liverpool area, touching into North Wales? Anyway, I'm looking forward to today. My fitness is decent. At the Colid, oh, I am ready once again for the Colid. I know I say that every year, but I've had a change in circumstances, Nick. So I may be able to drive up one Friday evening and join you for a Saturday assault on the Colid, because definitely, I mean, I loved our last little outing in Snowdonia, but I always want to go back when it's sunny, not rainy. Well, our last 2 outings, but the one I enjoyed the most was the one in October 2021 before my accident. And the Colid, that was a voyage of discovery. I still have not found anything harder, not even Mortirolo in Italy. Phil Rich, very nice to see you, and very nice. And let's congratulate Phil Rich on 1 year and 2 days, I think it is, or 3 days, 1 year and 2 or 3 days anniversary since his terrible accident, and the recovery that he has built in that 12-month period. It's an impressive recovery. He's back outdoors. The fitness is looking strong. So Phil Rich, you're an inspiration. Yeah, let's get that sorted, Nick. Definitely, I want to go back up the Colid. And believe it or not, I'm riding my titanium mosaic bike at the moment. I rode it for the Fred Whitton. It's a little heavier than the Villiers, but it climbs beautifully. Not sure why it climbs so nice, but I had like PBs during the Fred Whitton, and that's compared to kind of efforts where I did like Honister, for example. My previous PB was not during a Fred. So weight has come down a little bit, which will help in this climbing race. I'm 62 to 62 and a half currently. Oh, got to resume my and so that's certainly helping, with the climbing, but the mosaic is heavier, and I haven't tried to bring the weight down. I'm eating plenty. I'm actually eating more during the rides than I used to, and before and after, but not sure why it's coming down. So this course, it's a good one. I recommend it. As soon as I saw it, I thought, actually, this is the kind of thing that will actually help for the Stelvio Santini, which I've got in early June, and then La Marmotte in late June. It's pretty flat for about the first, 15, 20k by the look of it. And then we climb the reverse epic, that first bit that gets you to the reverse epic, up to the bridge. And then I think we descend into the jungle, go up the Itzicom, and then back down. And then I think we go right back up the, we don't go back down, we go to the Itza, and then we go straight into the second half of the grade. Sorry, my apologies. And then descend down a little bit, and then we end, I believe, yes, we end on the reverse KOM once again, but starting from the bridge rather than the very bottom. Yeah, I do agree with that, Nick. I don't know what it is about. I mean, my Villia I love. I feel good. I feel great on the Villia. But it just, I don't know. It just, there's something about it. There's something about it. I cannot put my finger on it. And it feels nice. I mean, it's different wheels, I suppose, rather than the lightweights. Hey, Laura. How are you? Yes, and absolutely, it's a celebration, isn't it, Laura? You've been through a tough time supporting young Phil, and therefore it's a congratulations to you too. A long road, and now hopefully plenty of good adventures with good health. Fingers crossed for us all on that. So I'm feeling very Zwiftish today. It's been a while, as I say, since I've done a live stream, but I'm going to get back into doing more of these after I get back from the Grand Fondos. I'll probably do a couple more during and in between. But there's nothing better than a live stream really for firing you up. But I just needed to get specific ahead of the Fred and really build a good base of like LT1 fitness ahead of the Grand Fondos. So I've been really working on that. Aha, thank you very much, found. Too kind. No, but it is a fast bike. I know what it is. It's fast. You just know when you get on a bike. I mean, I've had so many higher bikes. I've obviously owned 3 now myself. When you get on a bike and it just climbs well, and you just feel like your effort is translating into forward momentum and upward momentum. It just, there's something about it. It feels good. How are you anyway, sir? You good? Tim Fulford. And a second baby incoming. Life is gonna get busy for you, sir. And I saw that you're doing this event, Tim. Are you gonna be dropping us early? Are you gonna be dropping us super early? I think you are. I've gone for a longer warm-up than usual because I genuinely didn't think people would tune in to say hello, and I really appreciate you doing that. Andrad, no draft, love it, no draft. And that was my strategy for the Fred Whitton, Andrad. What a name. I've got a bit more risk averse of late, and I had a nasty crash. Not my fault, riders went down in front of me at a crit in February, and I said to myself, enough. You're doing all these crit races, I love them, but just to kind of finish in the pack, too much danger. And so ahead of the Fred Whitton, I said to myself, which was on Sunday, I'm not going to try and jump on a group or anything like that. I'm just going to ride my best time trial, as it were. So I was super happy with that. Here's Tim. Hey up, Tim. There he goes. There's Tim. Wahoo Carl. And a nice little thumbs up. So it was a solo ride. I was proper happy with that. Nice one, Phil. Is it a big, another 150, 160k indoors? Kev, how are you? Thank you for watching that. I'm so grateful to Jesse. It was really, really constructive criticism from him, and really encouraging for me as well. And I've got a lot of insight from that video. A lot of insight. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Definitely, regarding the heat training, I started way too early. I started in early March because I thought I really want to get adapted, but he's right. I've been plateaued at about 70% heat adapted, doing more recently 2 10 out of 10 intensity sessions a week, and it's freaking horrible. Oh, Andrew, very nice to see you again. Long time no see. Oh, God. You're not dropping YouTube videos anymore, though. Good to see you, though. How's the cycling going, sir? Lee, the indefatigable Baxter, he's just rebuilding fitness at the moment, so he didn't do the Fred this year. And Tony, Tony Cope was in Tenerife. But there's plenty of groups you could jump on, but they're going fast, and everybody this year, I mean, obviously I've been gunning for good times in the past, but it was really good to see, the hype around the event, and whether you're aiming for 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 10, or just to get it round, everybody had strong goals, and obviously some people just wanted to enjoy themselves. But I also thought that if I jump on a fast group, you don't know who you're riding with. I don't want to cause an accident, and I don't want to be part of an accident caused by somebody else. And as I'm aging, I am finding my reactions are not quite as good as they once were. Yeah, so Kev, yeah, I thought a lot of what Jesse was saying, I mean, boy oh boy did we see a depth of knowledge from him. A real depth of knowledge across everything from strength, heat, intervals, physiology, nutrition, and I really enjoyed it. I've reached out to him actually to see how else he could help me. So yeah, check out Jesse's video. My wish, huge prize money. Is it big prize money? I mean, I know a lot of people are doing my wish. I'm a traditionalist, a Zwift traditionalist. I came out of the womb as a Zwifter. No, I didn't. But no, and have you got any outdoor events in beautiful Portugal? That's an FTP test. You've always got to give a thumbs up to someone on an FTP test. So, since the Fred, I had a couple of days off. I've done a strength training. I like a nice low tempo training, high zone 2, low zone 3, and then a couple of heat trainings. And that's it. So, this is my first intensity since the Fred. The plan is to stay in the group. We all go off together, the A's and the B's. I'm a B. I'm still of B categorization on Zwift. Albeit I hope my FTP is a little higher. I think it'd be about 4.2 watts a kilogram based on hours of power and repeatability. On the Fred climbs, got all my big climbs at threshold, including hard knot, and that was 260 for 13 minutes there. I backed off a little bit at the very top. Oh yeah. Pray for me, Kev. The Ice Spice buns cannot go. I think you quite like the Ice Spice bun. I think I got a thumbs up for the Ice Spice bun. I do think people think I don't eat anything other than supplements. And to be clear, I do eat fruit and veg, fish, rice, potatoes. But to get my training in and then get on the train to work, it's just easier to just chug everything and eat the Ice Spice bun on the train. But it's not often you get somebody with such skill and experience just taking a look at everything you're doing. Hey, Titanium Ben, how are you? Nice one, Ben. Jump on it. Now, Ben has been posting a lot of videos on his channel, and if you're into Zwifting, check them out. Loads and loads of like amazing insight and tips, hard won over years and years and years. And when he's back to fitness, his live streams are on another level technically to this. So go and check out some of Ben's recent videos. Agreed, Tim, yeah, agreed, Nick, you're definitely balanced. I mean, and convenience. It's like, if you get, also, the thing I would say about having whey protein, this is from my bodybuilding days, you can take the man out of the gym, but you can't take the bodybuilder out of the man. I've got that wrong anyway. But bottom line is, you want a fast digesting protein source so that the amino acids are delivered quicker, and the whey protein means there's no digestion. Same with the creatine. You know, and you could have your carbs, as Jesse suggested, as fruit juices and all that kind of stuff, because that would be quicker than an ice spice bun. But an ice spice bun is one of my little luxuries of the day. Oh yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm living in a utopia where ice spice buns will be allowed. Very good, kid. Yeah. Well, maybe I can put it in a blender. Not quite the same. My son, who is seriously into his weight training, he filmed me at Norton's, and he's got big squat, big breath. I mean, like big, like 4 plates on a squat. It's like insane. When he was really serious about it, he's a lot less serious about it. He was blending chickens and oats and all that kind of crap in the blender. I'm like, Adam, freaking hell. You're on like 250 grams of protein. That's more than adequate. Yeah, I saw that in the Cocoa Pops. I've actually bought some Cocoa Pops since I've seen you posting them on Instagram, and they are good. If you haven't got a rice sauce, like white rice, they are great the night before or the morning of, ahead of a big ride or hard training. There's me saying how I enjoyed the Cocoa Pops. We're trying the Rice Krispies with loads of sugar. That's genius. I enjoyed like a little trip back down memory lane, because as a kid I wasn't allowed Cocoa Pops or indeed Rice Krispies. I had to have Shreddies or like Weetabix or cornflakes. But back then people didn't know much about sugar, so my mum let me load them up with sugar. So pretty much Cocoa Pops. Oh, that's fascinating. He knows what he's doing in that case, doesn't he? Yes, I think we need to make them non-negotiable for sure, Kev. Yeah, I think what I'd like to use Jesse for is ahead of the hill climb season. I would like to do like a best efforts for my 20-minute power or less than that up the toll road. I haven't entered it. I've booked accommodation. The Porlock event will be incredible. Maybe not as many supporters because it's in a very kind of out of the way part of the world. Beautiful part of the world. But yeah, definitely I'm really after the Gran Fondo season, I would like to train my threshold to see how high I can get it. I mean, I've got nowhere near where I was ever pre my accident. As I say, I reckon it's probably about 2 hour power 265. And I reckon I probably could squeeze out 290 up the toll road on a good day. But I'd like to get higher than that. And so doing something different, I think, is right. It's about time for that. If he's got any ability to fit me in. yeah, nutritionist. Yeah, I mean, it's if he tells you eat you eat. 10 bowls though, that's freaking, I mean, 10 bowls. I mean, I've got to say, when I've carved up, I've had a lot of rice the night before, and maybe a couple of bowls with sugar added on, to be fair. I like the sugar because that's easier to digest. But 10 bowls. I mean, was that literally the morning of or the night before? 10 freaking bowls. There is food for thought in that. I mean, I love white rice and peas with a bit of olive oil the night before. Like a lot of white rice. Yeah, but it'd be good to see Billet again. I haven't seen him in a while. I saw Scott and Nat and Jenny and Jim down in Minehead actually when Jane and I were down there seeing friends, family, and obviously catching up with Scott. And it's a long road back still for him in terms of the speech, but he's making good progress concerning all of his movements. And we had a squatting competition where he goes to train his strength on a kind of a leg press machine, and his sprint power is still there. He destroyed me, and I mean destroyed me on the squatting, the leg pressing, like by like a factor of 200%, that kind of thing. Very strong lad still. Scott, we're rooting for you. We are genuinely rooting for you and send our love. What you're having to go through with the support of Nat is just heart-wrenching. Heart-wrenching. 3 bowls the day before, 1 in the morning. Okay, not quite 10 then. Across the 3 sessions. Right, gotcha. I don't think I could physically eat 10. Yeah, there's the 3 bowls the day before. Yeah, I reckon that's doable. I'm going to buy a big box of Cocoa Pops. Yeah, I'm on the Specialised, Tim. I'm going to buy a big box of Cocoa Pops and give it a try ahead of like an hour of power or something at some point very shortly then. Compare it to the rice. I was out for a Thai dinner with my mum and Jane and my mum's partner yesterday. Plenty of rice was consumed, so no excuses. The carbohydrate sources should be fully stocked up. Where is my... Oh, I need to... Bear me a second, I just quickly need to get a carb gel. Caffeine gel, sorry. I shall take this strategically a little bit into the race. So today, what am I working with? If you go to the menu, if you go to pair, as always, the Favero Aciomas, because when I run out of gears in real life, I want to run out of them virtually. Yeah, I put the fan on in a second, Jane, one of them's on. I've got the kicker bike for the kind of resistance, Favero's for the what's it called, the power. They read typically 7 watts lower than the kicker bike reads, so I prefer a more accurate reading. Or not accurate, I prefer to use the one I use outside. I don't know which is the most accurate, but the Aciomas are pretty consistent because I've got 3 pairs of them, so I can tell you that they all read very, very consistently. And then in terms of the hardware, I'm at 75-80% trainer difficulty because I like to push into the resistance, and when the gradient kicks up, as it does on the grade, I want to be either grinding or forced out the saddle to maintain the power. Because I got the Morty Rolo to confront me early June. I have a recce up it, and when Tony Cope, Top Cat, and Paul Hamblet and I did it kind of in 24 ahead of the Maratona, that is a relentless hard climb. It's like 9-10 kilometers at 11%, but within that there's some really nasty ramps, and it really starts to hit quite hard as you're kind of Is that, yeah, I think we've got Lee Baxter amongst us. Lee Baxter, Tri Lakeland. Lee B. The strong. See, that's the capability of my typing. Lee Baxter, we've got Tim Fulfield, we've got Titanium Ben, we've got Lee Baxter. Let's have a quick look. Oh, we've got 35 seconds. Not going to have a quick look. You kicked the friends out. You made it. Nice one, Ben. Beautiful. Be kind. Tim won't be kind, we know that. So I'm a B. That's based on the power, I believe. Yeah, the power. Well, a series of powers that Zwift has kind of imputed from my various rides. Let's wind it up. And we're off. Or am I C? I'm not quite sure. Ah, Luke Elton as well. Another back pedaler. Not back pedaler, sorry. Another burrito. Very, very strong, Luke. I'll be in his dust. Well, thank you, Tim. You don't have to stay with me. If you want to drop me, please do. Yeah. 6 watts a kilogram hasn't ever figured in bike racing without mercy. Ah, it's supposed to be a zone 3 ride. Yeah, you'll still drop me with your zone 3. Gunnar Dallin as well. Another burrito. Wow. Yeah, so you're missing out, Nick, but the knee's going to be stronger for it. Legs are feeling good. Genius. Just a mega pretzel. So, what I did, Tim, Nick, sorry, forgive me. No, the live stream is what gives me the power of Grayskull. Oh, God. I'm all fired up because the Fred Whitton was good last week on Sunday. Jesse Coyle has given me constructive criticism and I've learned from it. I've got a live stream going and I've got my favourite green top. How about that then? Will I still be chipper come the grade? Find out. The base of the second epic. Enjoy, Tim. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, let's enjoy. Nick. I've only known you 10 years. 5 years. The A is not my race. The Cocoa Pots diet. 93, that's heavy for you, Ben. A winter of Zwifting, we'll bring that down. If you can fit it in with a little. How is Ethan? I'm sure he is. Being mollycoddled. There's only one star in any house, and that ain't the parents. Well, that was hard. We'll do him. Well, that was good raw power for me for the first 10 minutes. I think I touched about 270. Yeah, it's quite high, isn't it? This is my first intensity since the Fred. Albeit I've had the heart rate high for the heat training. Ah, you got a napkin. Yeah, sometimes. Actually, I said, here's mine. But Prince Andrew style, the heat training means that when the air conditioning's on, well, not the air conditioning, the fans, I don't sweat as much. Not that I want to associate myself with him. I do sweat a bit though. Obviously the heat training is torrential. No, I can imagine. As it happens in the Fred Whitton edit, I have a hard knot bingo. Check it out. It's going to be launched tomorrow. Probably a bit earlier than normal. But I play hard knot bingo. I kid you not. Oh yes. I am very disappointed. There will be thoughts exchanged amongst us all. But first I've got to rag myself. Needless to say, the first 2 years of a majority government has been squandered. Although good to see at least they're addressing defence belatedly. Yeah, I'm feeling decent. I mean, I should do. We're only 15 minutes in. I had about a 40-minute warm-up before this, including some efforts, just to fire up the nervous system. Well, it's starting to get a bit fast for me. Yeah, probably squandered. Very disappointed. Yeah, indeed. He needs to paint, well, he needed to paint a vision. So here is our mission. Follow me and we're going to head towards it with our majority. And if you don't agree, we're going to whip you hard or remove the whip. A bit of backbone and leadership needed. And it has some good policies. Reduce the PIPs, get the economically inactive back into work. I don't think they should have promised not to cut taxes, sorry, not to increase taxes. I think some of the broadest children in society could afford it, myself included. Because I want a better society for my kids and the youngsters coming through. I want them to benefit from what we benefit from. Good education, good healthcare, defence, of the country that meant something, a police force that was well invested, and people where they were unable to work were supported, but where they were able to work, became economically active or contributed to society. The welfare state was not designed for this level of inactivity. I centre ground politics. Yes, it's hard to manage, but with the majority he had, he should have faced down the dissenters. I know I would. I'd have said, why else am I here? And if I can't get it through with this majority, it's going to be a failure. Let's have another general election. I do need a bit more weight. Alright, here we go. We're going to pace this, hopefully to stay with the bees. That was hard. Oh, it's hard. Oh. Well, I'm happy with that, thank you. There is a risk of that, but there is no politician other than Starmer who can paint a vision to fiscal stability. Burnham, likely not good for markets. Same with Angela Rayner. Farage, no policies, no idea what he means. No experience. Thank you, Nick, I appreciate it. That means a lot coming from you. Now, as we hit the Itza climb, I'm going to pace it because we've got a lot of climbing to come. Cheers, Tim, yeah. And the heat training, I think, too. Plus lower weight. Power hasn't gone up a lot. If anything, it's flat. But watts per kilogram have gone up. And durability is much better. There you go. First place. Briefly. Indeed, promises, lies, and incompetence. And for the Tories, infighting, low integrity, and the raw pursuit of power with no ideas. And I am conservative with a small c by nature. No sketchy moments for me, thank you, Kev. I did hear though, later on in the event, there was quite a bad crash around Hard Knot and 2 people had to be air ambulanced out. If you did, and you happen to be watching, I hope you both make full recoveries. Rapid recoveries. Alright, caffeine gel here, 150 milligrams of caffeine, 30 grams of carbs. Yeah, definitely the only option. And as always, incredible marshalling and support from Mountain Rescue and Air Ambulance during the Fred. It's the best martial event I've ever been to. And some of the ones in Europe are excellent. Vidar, very good morning to you. How are you? Are you fully recovered yet? Absolutely. Langdale Valley, through Rhinos, to Cockley Beck, up Hardknot and back. I'm going to do that in summer at some point, but if I had one last ride in my life, that would be it. No, I'm good on it, Nick, because it's water based in terms of the carbohydrates in the morning. I have full fat Coke before an interval training and a couple of scoops of Sturka. No problem at all. Glad to hear that, Vida. What are your goals for the summer? No, I haven't. I tell you what I have done for my Mammoth training with Lee Baxter and Paul Livesey. We did the Great Dun Fell. Had to open 2 gates, but had a good poke up that on a beautiful day. Great for threshold training and spiking the power on the ramps. Perfect for perfect for the Stelvio Santini and the Mortirolo. Now that sounds good, Tim. Yeah, beautiful views. It was an amazing day. I'm going to bring that out as part of a Mammoth build-up training video. It was exceptional. With Lee B and Paul L, who are coming to La Mammoth, alongside Paul Hamlet, Tony Cope, and Esther, Paul's wife, who got second at the Fred Whitton in 24. Women category. Right. Triathlon, very nice. Learning how to swim. Respect to you for that. Respect. Getting out of your comfort zone. That is what life is all about. Get out of your comfort zone and it increases your comfort zone. Right. Level of concern is now high. Like I say, I'm going to pace this. Try to bring down the heart rate a bit. Thank you, Vida. Cheers, sir. This will hurt. Indeed it will. Here we go, put a lap timer on it. Thank you, Kev. Appreciate you tuning in. Look after yourself. Leading a race at 40 minutes. Never happens. Thank you, Vida. 46, 54. Just feel me. Jessica, this is for you. Thank you for your very generous video and very constructive criticism and insight. Hugely appreciate, sir. Yeah, Nathan. I'm gonna pace it here. Try to stay on top of the gear. Jesse, this is for you. Hey Rob, B to B, good to see you. Cheers, Mick. Oh, dear me, that's hard work. Cheers, Jesse. Great motivation. Thank you. How you doing, Mick? Good to see you. That was max effort. Felt good. Thank you for the support. Oh dear. Cheers, Rob. Fred Edit was ready last night, but the YouTube download and all the checks took 2 hours, so I'm going to release it Sunday around midday. It's a good one. There's Hard Knot Bingo to look forward to, but I spent a lot of time I devote a lot of the video, much more than usual, to the first climb, the struggle, because it was the perfect day, the perfect climb to start the Fred, and it's a one-off. So I have a whistle-stop tour through the rest of it until Hard Knot. It's a 20-minute video. I hope you all enjoy. I'm proud of it. Good time I got. 6 hours 32 solo. It's all the heat training and the efforts and the simulations and the strength paid off. I'm really happy with that. I didn't expect to get to that point in the race and still be in the front group. I'm not back from working time, I'm afraid, Vida. I don't really get the train home until 7:30, 8:30. So, well, thank you. I appreciate that, Rob. Cheers. B to the B. It's definitely a good legs day today. I said it right at the beginning, I felt very Zwiftish and good. Oh. I've done the tiny races before at the weekend though, Vida. They are excellent for building VO2 max. They allow you to go deep, you've got enough time for recovery, and the competitive element brings out the best in you. So definitely, if you're doing them, keep with them, they're brilliant. Yeah, I'm super happy with the time, Rob. I think it's a faster course, because even though you're going up the steepest struggle, and that's quite a lot slower than Troutbeck Bridge to Kirkstone Pass, the overall course is about 7 or 8 kilometres shorter, and so I reckon it's 12 to 15 minutes faster this year. And we had Goldilocks conditions, very still in terms of the wind, anywhere from 4 through 12 degrees Celsius, so nice and cool, no overheating, plus a faster route. So I reckon it'll translate to a solo time of about 6:45 to 6:50 on the normal course, similar to last year, albeit of course I had the very considerable help of Top Cat. I was 11th in my age group, 50 to 59. I think I came about 134th out of 2,250 compared to 90th last year. But I think there was a lot more people gunning for quick times this year, so I was really happy with that. But my main effort was to get a beautiful film on the struggle and go hard up the climbs, and that'll happen too. So it was one of my favourite days on a bike ever. Will do, Tim. Right, we're coming in on the climb. No, thank you. I really appreciate it, Rob. Cheers. Yeah, I was stoked. Like I say, a Goldilocks day on a fast course. Here we go. I think this will be about, minus the little climb at the beginning, what, 15-minute effort? Hoping to keep it above 260. Maybe even 270. For the durability gains. hard start on the first steep ramp, Lake District style. Hard start FTP coming into play here. Good, let the power come to me. Sure is, Nick. All about the pacing. 100%, and the eating. Cheers, Nick. Appreciate the effort. Appreciate support. Cheers, Phil. 1 hour 18, 22. Where did I come? I wasn't even looking at the results. Oh, 4th. Wow. Oh, freaking hell. That's my best result in years. That's 4th of the Bs, right? It must be 4th of the Bs. Oh, dear me. That was max effort. Oh dear. Oh dear me. Oh God dear. Oh dear, that was great. Thank you ever so much for all the support. That oh dear me, that felt incredible. Thank you very much, Vidar. Very best of luck with your triathlon training and your swimming, and have a great day with the family. Thank you for tuning in. That was uplifting. Oh, thank you for the carrot, Tim. I don't think I've had as good a ride as that in a long time. I mean, I think it was like 4.1 watts a kilogram for just over an hour and 10 or whatever it was, hour and 15. But let's have a look at the power. Oh, dear me, menu. What do I have to do? Yeah, 20-minute power, 275 is really good for me. 5-minute power, 302, that's really good for me in the middle of something. 342 for 20. Yes, not trivial, not trivial. 1 minute power, 355, that's decent for me. Maybe Jesse can bring that up though, because yeah, this is where my power curve starts to become very unimpressive. So I've got it in right, I think it is, yes. So in terms of the timeline, I'm glad my heart rate's got up nicely as well. I haven't had it really much above 175 for ages. I'm not sure why. I've pushed hard at times, but it just won't go there. But look, I'm really happy with that. That's great repeatability. I mean, it was a hard start to stay in the front group there. And then we had a few little climbs. I forget which one that was. That was, I forget which climb that was. Maybe that, yeah, that was up the bottom of the epic reverse. Then we got the Itza climb. I was super happy with the grade. And then I didn't expect to get, I think I was like, what was it? 280 or so for about 14, 15 minutes here. So that's again, very, very encouraging, very encouraging. What was my power? Yeah, so I peaked at, 255. So that's over 4 watts a kilogram. I'm weighing 62 and a half this morning, having had a huge carb up last night. So yeah, it's well over 4 watts a kilogram. What's that? 255. Divided by 62.5. Yeah, it's 4.08 watts a kilogram. That's decent. I've got to be honest, I'm finding that the heat training, even though I'm not yet fully adapted, is providing benefits. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for joining me on your mega pretzel. Thank you for the support. Hugely appreciate it. And we will organise a ride in Snowdonia. Because as I say, I've got a change in circumstances. I have a little bit more time on my hands to travel and make it up there. So looking forward to that. And you dropping me, and I hope your leg holds up too. So that was nice. Let me take a picture of that. Go back to the ride. Oh no, back. So the heat training. I gotta be honest with you. I hate it. I have the Hayabusa suit, which is a martial arts sweatsuit, and that traps the heat. and it gets you up to temperature nicely, albeit, as Jesse said, I could probably do a little slightly harder effort for the first 10 minutes and then get the benefit. Albeit in my defence, what I was trying to do was have like a zone 1, zone 2 ride. Albeit that's from a kind of physiological perspective, the heart rate, either the legs and the lactate, the heart rate is very elevated compared to normal. So, yeah, I might try that. But the heat training, I've done 22 of them, including the 3 I did in the Maldives, 25 of them. And I started too early, no doubt about it. But definitely, just as I'm walking around, and this is not just some kind of placebo effect, I just feel like there's more oxygen coming into me. It's a very hard thing to explain. It's like you're almost floating on air a little bit. The air just feels fresher, and you just feel like you're getting more oxygen into you. And definitely, I found that my endurance power has come up. My top end power, well, maybe it's come up based on that, but I haven't noticed a discernible increase in 5-minute or 20-minute power. But maybe after the Fred, as Tim was saying, it's come up a bit. But what you can't do, you can't half-arse the heat training. You have to commit to it. As Jesse said, you could probably push it all into a 6-week or a 5-week or 4-week block. It'd be a properly miserable 4 or 6 weeks. I mean, I do like one hard intense session. No, the fairies are not with me, Ben, today. How have you gone? How was your time? How was yours, Lee Baxter, Lee B? And Tim, what did you? Where did you place? You must have placed pretty high in the youngsters. Yeah, I think, was I 20th or 18th overall? I think I was 18th overall, wasn't I? And that is a very good. I actually am aware of the fairies. I'm just drivelling. 8th in Kate, very nice, given you were just doing a tempo ride. Oh dear me, I don't know how you do it. You are proper killer. Oh, just 305 for the hour and 20. Adequate, Tim, adequate. So yeah, I'd recommend the heat training, especially if you're going to altitude. What I don't know is if it will work at altitude. That's what really got me really interested in it, because obviously none of us can do an altitude camp. Nobody has that much time, or indeed money, and it's not that important. But it struck me that a heat training might be a nice way to get more blood plasma, and in the end you're meant to also get an adaptation where you get more red blood cells as a result of having more plasma. And obviously that should help when you get to altitude where the oxygen is more scarce. And I've always found, whenever I've gone to the Alps, Swiss, French or Italian, it makes no difference. I am joking, of course. I get heavily susceptible to the altitude. When I'm sleeping at 11, 12, 1300 or 2000 on Alpe d'Huez, the heart rate is higher. Everything just feels harder on the climb, even at an endurance pace. So I'm really hoping, I'm not expecting to do the same kind of power we do at sea level here when I get to the Stelvio Santini and the La Marmotte. But I am hoping that relative to what it would have otherwise been, like say an LT1, my mind might be around about 220, 225, I reckon. Based on 230 normalised power for the 6.5 hours for the Fred, maybe it's 210, 215, that kind of thing. And so if my threshold is 265, maybe I'm able to go at, 250 for a 30, 40 minute effort on the climbs and that kind of thing. So I will do a little video as to whether or not I get the benefit at altitude. And of course, if it's hot, definitely I'll get the benefit in terms of I sweat more and I cool better. You're halfway up. You will be back challenging soon, Ben. Just keep back with it. Now you're making the videos, so many of them, and you're imparting knowledge. Get back to your live streaming, and we'll watch your comeback. Because I do miss. Work has been so busy. I haven't really consumed a ton of YouTube, And now that's, as I say, I'm having a change of circumstances. But I am going to get back to consuming more YouTube. I'm not going to look for such a stressful job in the future. So, turning to the politics. I mean, I really do hope we don't get a protracted Labour Party leadership race. I genuinely believe we should give Keir Starmer the benefit of the doubt. He is a man of integrity. He does well on the international stage. He's a grown-up. He doesn't knee-jerk around and post stuff on social media or Twitter or X or whatever. He thinks before he speaks. But what he hasn't done is provide leadership and kind of a clear vision and discipline within his party. And the trouble is, I don't think now he can survive. I wish he could, because I do believe he's a man of integrity, and we need somebody calm and with integrity to lead this country. But many would say that this country is ungovernable as a PM. If he goes, we'll be on 7 or 8 prime ministers in 7 years or something ridiculous like that. I mean, Liz Truss. It doesn't really count, but you know what I mean. And the bottom line is, whoever is Prime Minister, whatever party they are, they need to stop pointing at immigration as being the problem for everything. It is not. Illegal immigration, yeah, maybe it's a problem. It is a problem. What we have in terms of much, much bigger problem for this country is structural. We need to increase our defence spending to 5% of GDP very quickly in order to provide security, because that is the number one priority of a government. But it's hard to finance that because we're paying too much out in benefits, whether it's PIPs, triple lock pension, or people who otherwise could work but can't, but are choosing not to work because it's economically irrational for them to get a job and be paid less than their benefits. That has to end. The benefit system was not designed for that, and the young who are going out to work, paying their taxes, why should they be paying for others to be economically inactive through choice? We are all responsible adults. And so somebody needs to deal with the welfare state, but they need to do it empathetically, because there has to be a net for those that can't work or those that are in need. There has to be redistribution of wealth. I'm 100% behind that. There has to be investment in the health service. I'm 100% behind that. And there has to be better policing and investment into education and the ability for people from all socioeconomic demographic to actually level up and have good opportunities to progress. We need to deliver on some of this stuff, but it all costs money. And if you look at the public sector borrowing requirement, we have too much debt, accrued over years and years of bad government through the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. And obviously the pandemic also. But Brexit has been dreadful for economic growth, and therefore the taxes that we have been able to take in terms of from profits and companies and people's salaries and earnings, our growth has stagnated. And so decisions that have been made, of which Nigel Farage is a big part of, have really done structural damage to the country. And people should stop pointing at the immigrants and say this is the cause. Somebody needs to face into the fact that our country needs something radical to bring it forwards. And I believe that is a combination of increased taxes for the wealthiest, me included, and reducing the benefits and spending on defence, education, health. But the trouble is, in the UK, and we all have to point to ourselves, nobody wants to vote for the things that hurt themselves. Everyone goes, yes, XYZ should pay more tax, or ABC should get less benefits. But when it comes to a policy that will impact them, they're like, oh, no, not on my watch, not for me, I'm exempt. And so we're in a position where no political leader can get elected on a manifesto of reducing the triple lock pension, because we've got so many pensioners, they would not vote for it. I think it should be means tested, the pension. And people like me shouldn't actually get it. But the triple lock Why should pensioners have a triple lock when the youngsters aren't even getting inflationary pay rise and they're paying the taxes? Why should they? It's not equitable. Why should we be paying out PIPs to people who have chosen not to work? Yes, we should pay out PIPs to people who have disabilities and need the mobility cars to get them to work. Or families that have a big disability within the family and they need an adapted car to have a quality of life. That is what the welfare state is built for, not for free riding. So there's lots and lots and lots of deserving people that need to get the welfare pound. But there's equally lots and lots of people who are getting it and wasting it and making a decision not to work, and they should not be able to make a decision not to work. I say get these people into work, or get them cleaning our frickin' streets. Clean the streets and the countryside. Get them into the army. Get them building, I don't know, drones and defences. Get them doing something that is accretive for society, or they need to work, one or the other. Trouble is, easy to say all of this, and Gary's economics, I love Gary. He says it like it is. He is right. Tax the wealthy, tax wealth, not work. I agree with that. Tax my wealth. I want a better future for my kids and their kids. I want them to have the same opportunities that I had. And the trouble is, no politician's going to get elected for this, because even though I speak to some of my friends, it's like I say to them, you're earning good money, couldn't you pay a little bit more tax if it was spent appropriately? And it's like, no. And I say, well, what about your kids, in the education and the police force and the security of the country? They don't care. So, yeah, I do feel really passionate about this, but what politics doesn't need is another middle-aged white male or a mammal. But I wish some politician would provide a frickin' vision of reality, balance the frickin' budget, and say this is what needs to happen. Trouble is, they won't get elected. And what you don't want is an autocratic government, as we're seeing in America. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying I want pragmatism. I want somebody to actually treat this country with respect. Balance the budget, get people into work, cut the unnecessary fat being paid to those who've decided not to be economically active, and find a way to create jobs and let people level up. And we're not going to do it by pointing at the immigrants. There's a tiny percentage of what we're spending. Yes, we need to deal with it. I am not saying we don't need to deal with it. The illegal immigrants, that is. But the lack of legal immigration, i.e. European Union citizens coming into the UK, has been a massive detriment to the hospitality industry. It pushed up wages and salaries. A massive detriment to the NHS. There is shortages of doctors and nurses, and that means we have to spend more on the framework agreements they have with private contractors to provide temporary doctors and nurses, all of which work in the NHS. They just get paid a lot more through their contract to do extra hours. Wasteful. But we shut the door on legal immigration. Used to go to Pret-a-Manger. The standard of service was impeccable, typically by citizens from the European Union. I'm not saying it's bad now. I'm just saying these people were accretive to our society in the UK. The Brexit is a disgusting thing that has been proven to be an abject failure. It hasn't even reduced immigration, quite the opposite. Immigration, illegal immigration, has increased because we have no mechanism now with the European Union to actually hand back the illegal immigrants from whence they came. Nigel Farage didn't mention that. He's quite happy to get a 5 million payment. No one quite knows why. 5 million? Oh, because of all the good work he now decides on getting us to a Brexit. Good work for who? For you. You seem to be the only one, Nigel, that's earned 5 million quid out of a Brexit. Congratulations. I'll slow clap you out of the freaking country. Trouble is, by pointing at the immigrants and saying these are the problems, you might get elected Prime Minister. And that worries me. Anyway, enough. Sorry. That's been welling inside me for a while. Jesse, thank you for the motivation today. Jesse Coyle, Nero Coaching, you are the boy. I feel good, and I'm going to come to you to find out how to build my FTP to 300. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Well, thank you, Mansfield. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. I know it's a bit of a rant, but I just want some pragmatism back in government. Some sensible decisions. I don't know, we need somebody strong, maybe even the King, to say to this country, the citizens of this country, get a grip. And actually, it would help if the royal family, and I love the royal family, paid their taxes them frickin' selves. I don't mean inheritance tax. I mean all the bloody income tax. That would endear them a lot more to the country, and then the King could say, be pragmatic. Anyway. Thank you all. I'll have another live stream next weekend. In the meantime, what do you think? I haven't researched enough of it, but from what I saw, President Xi, he managed to, as did our King, and by the way, sorry, I'll come back to that in a second. King Charles, you made me proud. God, I think he made a lot of UK citizens proud. His visit to the USA, the speeches he made were simply impeccable. I actually got, for the first time in many, many years as a Brit, I got that shiver of absolute UK pride, British pride, coming down my spine as he made his speech to Congress, and he landed truth bomb after truth bomb after truth bomb. And also at the dinner he reminded Trump that were it not for the British, the Americans would have been speaking French. It was such a wonderful speech, so rich in history and fact. God, it was wonderful to be British when you saw King Charles. He really has come of age. And I say about paying the taxes, I fully stand behind that, but I personally think the royal family is accretive to our country, and King Charles just proved it. What got me onto that was he managed the Trump handshake. He kept his hand in tight. He wasn't intimidated by it. And Trump didn't kind of belittle him in any way, shape or form, as did President Xi. It was a masterclass of calm leadership. And whether or not you like everything that's going on in China, what they do have is a vision and a plan, and they are patient and they don't knee-jerk. And certainly I don't believe, I believe they're getting stronger and we in the West are getting weaker. Anyway, as I was saying, thank you all ever so much for tuning in. Hugely appreciate it. I found it very motivating, the chat. As you can see, the endorphins are flowing profusely. Please do check out my video tomorrow. I'd really appreciate that. I'm very proud of the effort. But most importantly, it is the GOAT of cycling events, and the good people of the Lake District, the marshals, the organisers of the Fred Whitton, the ambulance services, mountain rescue and the air ambulance. They make for a very, very well organised and safe event that brings the best out of cycling. So I hope you enjoy a carnival on the struggle. It is a proper cycling carnival on the struggle. And in the meantime, whoever you are, whatever you do, please remember, live, thrive, stay healthy, enjoy life. Arrivederci and ciao.